Said, hey guys, today I've got an idea for an open tag. It's kind of the now that I think about it tag. Because those of us that are retro gamers and retro game collectors that have multiple systems in our collection that we've added over the years, we all of us pretty much have the consoles or the computers that we didn't choose. Back in the day when it was down to choose one system over another, we made our choices, and we were familiar with the choice we made, but a lot of times we weren't as familiar with the choices that we didn't make. And today, we've added those consoles and those computers to our retro collection, so we have a chance to see what the decision we didn't make is like. So my question is, was there a particular time when you chose one console over the other or one computer over the other, and now that you have the console or the computer that you didn't choose, now that you have that in your collection, do you rethink that decision? Does it put it in a different perspective? Do you think, hey, I definitely made the right decision, I'm super glad I did? Do you think, it probably wouldn't have made much difference one way or the other? Each decision had its pluses and each decision had its minuses. Or did you think, boy, did I blow it? And so what decision did you make at the time, and how has your perspective changed, now that you think about it? Well, as I've looked on YouTube, one of the computers that I really wanted was an Atari 8-bit, Atari 800, and I've got one now. And it's one of the systems that I didn't choose when I got the Radio Shack Color computer, because I was looking for a computer at the time. This was an 82, and they were still relatively new, and so you didn't know, a lot of us didn't know, I certainly didn't know much about them. And Radio Shack had a sales, I was looking to get a computer, and they had a flyer in the catalog, in their sales catalog, and so I got the color computer. Not doing a whole lot of comparison. Over the years, I've been extremely happy with that decision. In particular, since the Color Computer 3 came out, that was not as advanced as the Atari ST or the Amiga or some of the other systems, but was a lot more advanced than the 800 and the Commodore 64 and those systems, and was backwards compatible. So, I stayed with going with the Color Computer, and in the Color Computer 3, I stayed with one system, up into the late 80s, and even after I got my first and my second PC, I was still using the Color Computer on a fairly regular basis up into the 90s. So I definitely think that was the right decision. But as I'm looking at my Atari 800, as I look at the games that are available, what excellent versions of the games they are, and how many of the popular titles at the time were available, I really don't think I would have made the wrong decision if I would have went with the 800. And probably the Commodore 64 as well. I think that either one of them, would have had their pluses and minuses. But I'd have probably been happy with the TI-99. I definitely would have been happy with the Atari 800. But at the same time, I am firmly convinced that I made the right decision going with the good old Coco. So I'm leaving this as an open tag. Feel free to respond on the decisions that you made at the time and how your perspective has changed as you've got the other choices in your collection now, whether you think that your original decision was the right one, that either decision was fairly equal, or was your original decision the wrong one. So, feel free to respond, and as always, more later.